I had MDS and AML leukemia, so yeah, cancer.
They told me I wasn't going to make it first round of chemo. Someone in Australia is donating their bone marrow for me to live another chance at life.
I remember waking up and my pillow was like black with hair. So my dad, best person ever, my dad and my mom were just amazing during that time. He said, okay, here's a deal, Laura. If I shave your head, you can shave mine.
I cut his hair and he cut mine.
Yeah.
And this is my dad, baby.
It's been 6 years now. It was very difficult.
Nobody has control over leukemia, of these sicknesses. It's happening. It's mostly, what are you gonna do about it? Are you going to sit in bed and cry for the whole year that you have it? Or are you gonna, make the most of it? And I think that's really what I did.
I decided to make this movie about the hospital so I never forget.
BayKids is a children's nonprofit in the Bay Area. Our mission is to help heal children through the power of filmmaking. The kids initially are met in the hospital with our filmmakers. It's really meant for kids to express whatever they want and however they want to express. So we have filmmakers who facilitate and guide the kids, but it's really the kids telling their story.
I decided to do the documentary. It was about my story and how I came to get cancer and how I was going through it, how it affected my family, and my bone marrow transplant. So you got to see the good, the bad, and the ugly completely.
Everything's swollen. That's why her mouth and throat and everything is so swollen. We get canker sores. She's got all in her mouth, under her tongue, around her tongue, all the way down, then down the throat, all through the mouth and all the way down.
I've always wanted to really just kind of help people, and so it was like a chance for me to get my story out and see if it could help anybody.
BayKids was really a good getaway. I remember being so excited for them to come and being able to make movies, and as like every 6-year-old, their dream is to be on TV.
I have worked with children that have done BayKids, and it's been incredible how empowering the whole process is.
Instead of becoming this passive person that people stick and look at and treat, you become somebody who's doing something, who's creating something.
BayKids coming in and saying, like, you can control everything. Oh, it was a big thing.
I remember them coming into our room with a big camera that I thought was so cool, and the cool microphones and stuff.
I'm sure it did take her mind off of what she was going through, the treatment and so on.
BayKids operates out of UCSF, a hospital whose values, like those of BayKids, are utterly San Franciscan. UCSF's mission is to draw on the optimistic and nurturing spirit of San Francisco, a place where creators, innovators, and reformers have congregated for decades.
I was in the hospital from when I was 6 to 7, towards the end of kindergarten. I had leukemia.
I was in the hospital for 46 days straight. The community at UCSF is very loving and supportive. Everybody is so nice to everybody.
All of it is about wellness and mindfulness and trying to really not just approach things from this purely medical standpoint, giving medications, doing different types of procedures, but also on for the overall well-being of being in the hospital.
A lot of the kids are actually with serious illness are coming in and out of the hospital a lot. So in a way, the hospital folks become kind of their family.
I made the best friends. I loved all the nurses. They're like best friends to me. I'm so amazed by how they could go through with all this and how they could still be happy.
It's a very, very close community, and everybody helps each other and is inspired by everybody. It definitely made a place for BayKids.
For most Americans, getting through hardships is a spirit ingrained in us. For centuries, people have come to this country because their fear of the unknown wasn't enough to dash their hopes that they could take control of their own lives. The children at UCSF have their own unique sense of hope.
The life and death thing is there, and I think the kids know it. I remember this one thing where a friend of hers came by, and they're having this play on the bed, and I'm sitting there and reading, and I can overhear their conversation, and you know, Laura says something like, when I get out, we can go play with XYZ. And then her friend said, but you might never be able to get out.
So there are two kinds of spirits, I think, that people have for facing death. You can either roll over and let it happen, or you can say, no way in hell am I gonna let you take me. At UCSF, I think everybody's just fighting to live.
It's hard, it's not hope in its classic, definition. Every day you wake up and you kind of deal with whatever's happening that day, and you hope to hear good news.
I know how hopeless everything can feel, but you just gotta hang on to that little shred of light that, it will get better. And if somebody can take that away from my movie, I would feel amazing. I watch it every now and then, a couple times, and at first, me and my mom, we cried watching it because it was so fresh when we watched it. But now, it's kind of like just an experience that I'll never forget, and it shaped me into who I am today and who I will be in the future.
I think having these programs should definitely be required. Why would you take away the only happiness that people have in the hospital?
Even though that might have been, 3% of her time in there, it's 3% that she enjoyed.